So what exactly is general liability insurance? Does it cover everything that could possibly happen? How much does it cost? Stay tuned. I'm going to cover and answer all those questions in the upcoming video. I'm Mike Asalas. I started the Business Insurance Playbook. Our goal is pretty simple here at the channel. It's to basically help you become a better buyer of your business insurance. I have over 13 years of experience helping companies manage risk, handle insurance needs, surety needs, and I want to share what I know with you. If you like our content, do us a huge favor, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Hey, to put it simply, general liability insurance is not insurance to cover you per se if something happens to your own property or your own equipment, but it's to protect you if you damage other people's property. So it's a third party coverage. So if you damage other people's property or you hurt someone, you cause bodily injury to a third party, that's when your general liability policy will kick in. Now, it's designed to do two things. One is to, again, pay any damages that you might cause, right? But the second is to act as basically a legal policy, right? It's to defend you. So that's usually what ends up being the most expensive part of any claim is the defense costs. We all know attorneys are pretty expensive. Some examples specifically of what it will cover is like a slip and fall at your premise, if you own a restaurant or just a commercial building, or product liability. So you manufacture a product or you sell a product and that causes pain to another person. That would be picked up. There's also ongoing work, right? You're in the course of work, you're a contractor and you damage someone else's property. That would be picked up by your general liability policy. And then your finished work, right? You finish your work and there's a defect or there's something wrong with it. It's not performing how it should. Again, these types of issues are what a general liability policy would protect you for. Standard limits in general liability policies are going to be $1 million for any one occurrence. Key thing to remember here, your defense costs are going to usually be unlimited. They should sit outside of that limit. And then you will also have something called an aggregate limit of about $2 million typically. It can vary depending on what carrier you're with, but that means you could have two $1 million claims. All right, so sometimes you hear the word general liability and you think, well, everything should be covered. Not so fast. All right, there's 16 common exclusions in a general liability policy. I want to share a couple with you today that I think you might assume are covered scenarios, but are not actually covered. So first is liquor liability. Now, it would be covered if you're not in the business of selling liquor. So maybe you're having a party, right? An office party and you're a manufacturer. Someone drinks too much, drives, hurts someone. That should be picked up in most general liability policies. But if you're in the business of selling alcohol to an extent, then it will be excluded. Another thing is work comp or employee liability claims. Why is this excluded? Typically, it's going to be excluded because it should be picked up by a work comp policy. So the third exclusion to be aware of is pollution exclusions. What I typically see nowadays, maybe even your base policy won't exclude pollution to the point where it's everything, but I've seen total pollution exclusions thrown on policies. So it's important to basically look through maybe buying a pollution policy. A couple others, damage to your own product or your work, product recall, professional exposure. So if you're doing any design work, that's not going to be picked up on a general liability policy. And then employment practice issues, which is lawsuits from employees for harassment or discrimination. That's just a few of the exclusions that I'll see. It just depends on your specific policy. All right, so the question everyone wants to know, what's the cost of a general liability policy, or am I overpaying for it? As a baseline, 1 to 3% of overall sales should be what your liability policy premium makes up. It can vary widely though by industry. It can vary widely by geographic location, the type of work you're doing, your own loss experience. Have you had a lot of claims? So there's a lot of factors that really go into the cost. The best way to make sure you're not maybe overpaying is to talk with an independent agent, make sure that they can go to the market for you, bring you some different options so you can have something to compare one option against another option to. All right, well, that's all I got for you on this video. If you like the way I talked to you today and you're not getting this from another agent, shoot me a message, shoot me a call. I'd be happy to talk with you and see if we can help you out. Thanks.